Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Story number 97, and the headline of the story is Courageous Pledge in Hudaibiya. Courageous Pledge in Hudaibiya. What is Hudaibiya? Hudaibiya is the name of a place not very far from Mecca, close to the Mecca city where the Baytullah, the house of Allah, is situated. In Mecca, this Baytullah, and people in that time used to go for pilgrimage also, because this place was built by Prophet Abraham alayhi salam thousands of years ago, and since then the pilgrimage was going on. In 6th Hijri means the migration. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was born and brought up in the city of Mecca, but the idol worshippers, they were very powerful in that time. They were controlling the holy place, the place of pilgrimage, the house of Allah. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was teaching the original form of pilgrimage that was started by Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, and these idol worshippers, they forced him to go out. They plotted to kill him, and Prophet ﷺ went away, migrated from Mecca to Medina, and from that migration year, the year started to be calculated, and that's why it is called Hijra. Hijra means that migration year. So 6th migration year, 6th Hijra, Huzur sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was in Medina, and he took about 1400 companions towards Mecca and to perform the pilgrimage. But the relationship between Muslims and idol worshippers in Mecca was very bad. Just 1 year before, the Quraysh, the Meccan leaders, they came all the way from their side to Medina, and they wanted to destroy the small Muslim community. They imposed a war, and that war was imposed on them, so they wanted to destroy Muslims. So therefore the relationship between them was not good at all. So Holy Prophet ﷺ, he took 1400 companions, and then he put his tent on the place of Hudaibiya, not very far from the Holy Kaaba, from Mecca, and he sent a delegate, Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, to inform the Quraysh leaders that he did not come for fight, he only came to perform the Hajj. And even in that time of ancient age, the universal rule was that anybody who wanted to come to perform pilgrimage was allowed to come. But the condition was they could not come with armors, with weapons to fight. They had to come. They were allowed to come only with one sword for personal safety. So Prophet ﷺ, he rested in the place of Hudaibiya, and to get permission, he sent Usman radiallahu ta'ala. But the Quraysh leaders, they broke the law. They did not give permission for this Muslim group to come and to do the pilgrimage. They arrested Usman radiallahu ta'ala. Or also in that time, the law was that you could not arrest or harm a messenger. You could not, even this is the law in this world, that there is a diplomatic rule. A diplomat in your country who is representing ambassador, who is representing his country to your country, you cannot harm them. But they arrested Usman radiallahu ta'ala by breaking the law. And they also decided that they will resist Muslim to come in to do the Hajj, to do the pilgrimage. In that process, the rumor came out that Quraysh leaders have killed Usman radiallahu ta'ala. When that rumor came on the Muslim group where Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was leading, then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked all the Muslims to put their hand one after one on his hand and to take a courageous pledge, and that pledge is that we will fight to the Quraysh because they have killed our messenger, and we will fight with our life until we have the last drop of blood in our body. That pledge, I said in the topic, the courageous pledge. And that pledge took place in Hudaibiya. So the headline of the story is Courageous Pledge in Hudaibiya. So this is the brief background. Now let us come to Holy Quran and see that how much Allah loved that pledge. Chapter 48, verse 10. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إن الذين يبايعونك إنما يبايعون الله يد الله فوق أيديهم فمن نكث فإنما ينكث على نفسه ومن أوفى بما عاهد عليه الله فسيؤتيه أجرا عظيما. So Allah says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُبَايِعُونَكَ, surely for those who promise their place to you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إِنَّمَا يُبَايِعُونَ اللَّهَ, making pledge on you mean they made pledge to Allah, because, O my messenger, you represented me. Allah's messenger means Allah's ambassador, and Allah's ambassador represents Allah's wish. So Allah loved that pledge, and Allah is confirming it through the Quranic verses to the revelation, that pledge was actually done according to the guidance of Allah for the Allah. Yadullahi fawqa aydihim, the hand of Allah is over their hands. So they were making pledge, putting their hand on the hand of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah is saying this pledge, actually Allah's hand was over them, so Allah has accepted that pledge, Allah has supported the pledge, because they made a very sincere, dedicated pledge. فَمَنْ نَكَثَ فَإِنَّمَا يَنْكُسُ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ, if anyone who breaks his pledge will done the damage to his own soul. Waman awfa, and if anyone fulfills the pledge, bima ahada alayhi Allah, that he has promised to Allah, whatever he has promised to Allah, if he fulfills that, then fasayu'tihi ajran azima, then Allah will soon grant him a great reward. So this particular verse is from Surah or chapter 48, and the name of the chapter is called Fath, Al-Fath. And Al-Fath means the victory. Al-Fath means the victory. So that pledge in Hudaibiya has promoted something, and the result was the victory, a clear-cut victory for Muslim in Islam. What happened when Muslim took the pledge? This news, because there were spies around, the news of it went everywhere. Most particularly, it went to the Mecca and Quraysh leaders. The message goes to them that each and every Muslims had taken oath in the name of Allah that they will, if necessary, will die here, but they will seek justice for Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, for the messenger which was killed, because the rumor was there that Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu was killed. And the Quraysh leaders, they had idea that how brave Muslims were. So their hearts was shaken, and they came forward for a peace treaty, a treaty for 10 years. They came to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they sent some of their negotiators, and they came with some proposals that for 10 years we will have a peace treaty, and in those 10 years we will not fight against one another. And that treaty is called Al-Fath, the clear-cut victory in Quran by Allah. Chapter 48, name is Al-Fath. And Allah said in the first verse about that treaty, Inna fatahna laka fatham mubina. Surely we have granted you a clear victory. Interesting. Even though in that peace treaty, the Meccan part, they did not accept any proposal from Muslims. It looked like all of their condition was one-sided. But still, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, still he accepted. And even some companions of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were wondering that is it a peace treaty or is it a humiliation for us? But Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, without any question, he accepted. And Allah in Quran also revealed soon after that it was a clear victory. How? Later on, it became very clear. Why it was a clear victory? Some reasons are that through this peace treaty at the first time, the Quraysh, they recognized the Islamic State in Medina. They recognized. And to abolish that state and abolish Muslims, remember, they had been imposing wars upon wars against Muslims. And now they are coming and saying, okay, no war, let us have a peace at least for 10 years. So it was a victory. For the first time, through this treaty, they also recognized Islam as a religion. And until then, they were fighting against it. And through this treaty, it was a stop from them, from their side, of 19 years of continuous tortures from them on Muslims. They came with the proposal, no torture, no fight, no war. And with this peace treaty, it provided a stable, peaceful environment so that Muslims could, instead of focusing on war and defending, they could focus on their self-progress, progressing their country, and also spreading the teachings of Islam peacefully. More than that, Allah knew what was going to be in the future. Only 2 years after that peace treaty, they broke the peace treaty. Muslims, they did not. The idol worshippers, they broke the peace treaty. And when they broke the peace treaty, then Prophet ﷺ, he took 10,000s of Muslims from Medina and went to the Mecca, and without any fight, they were defeated. He ﷺ, he recovered the holy place from their ruling. And then, since then until now, it is going on. And from that moment, Prophet ﷺ, he re-established the proper pilgrimage that was started during the time of Prophet Abraham alayhi salam. And they were defeated forever. They were defeated forever. And still now, Muslims are going to pilgrimage every year. And that place of pilgrimage was deliberated after 2 years of that historical treaty in Hudaibiya. So the topic was the courageous pledge in Hudaibiya. That pledge, that courage, that dedication. They didn't have to fight. But Allah tested them in that situation and they won in the test. They took all of their energy and motivation to defend the truth. And then that was it. Allah supported them, and then the enemy, they came with the offer of a peace treaty, and by that they accepted Islam as a recognized religion, and 2 years after they were completely defeated. The teaching we learn from this is never ever attack anyone unfairly. Never attack anyone to capture any country. Never attack any country to loot their wealth. And if any time you have a peace treaty, always show your eagerness to the peace treaty. peace is better than fight. And that's what Prophet ﷺ did there. Even though many conditions went against him and his followers, but still he went for the peace treaty. And once you have a peace treaty, it doesn't matter with whom you have peace treaty. Respect it. Maintain the peace. Respect it. Don't break it. But if the other party breaks the treaty unfairly, unjustifiedly, then Islam allows to discipline. So this is the basic message from this story. Courageous pledge in Hudaibiya and the great victory out of that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and mercy to all of those who were there, and for their dedication, for their sacrifice. Today we are doing the pilgrimage according to the teaching of the founder of the place, Ibrahim alayhi salam. May Allah bestow mercy and peace on Ibrahim alayhi salam and his family, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi salam and his family, and to all the messengers and to all the believers. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.